The night was thick with tension as Harriet pulled her shawl tighter around her shoulders, her breath forming small clouds in the cold air. The distant sound of dogs barking sent a shiver down her spine, but she did not stop. Every step she took was a step closer to freedom, a freedom promised beyond a border she could only dream of crossing. Behind her lay a world of chains and cruel masters. Ahead was a land whispered about in secret where the soil was free and so was the spirit. That land was Canada. In the mid-1800s, the Underground Railroad was not a railroad in the traditional sense, but a vast network of secret routes and safe houses. It was a lifeline for countless enslaved African Americans fleeing the brutal slavery of the southern United States. And Canada was the beacon at the end of this perilous journey, the final sanctuary where slavery was abolished and freedom awaited. For many, the journey to Canada was the most dangerous part of their escape. The Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 had made it perilous for escaped slaves to remain anywhere in the U.S., even in northern free states. The law empowered slave catchers to pursue runaway slaves across state lines, and anyone aiding them faced severe penalties. This pushed the desperate to seek refuge beyond the borders, in Canada, where British laws had outlawed slavery decades earlier. Canada was more than just a safe destination. It became a symbol of hope and a hub of abolitionist activity. Black communities sprang up in towns like Buxton, Amherstburg, and Windsor. These communities provided shelter, jobs, education, and a new beginning for those who had survived the horrors of slavery. One of the most remarkable aspects of Canada's role was the cooperation between Black Canadians and white abolitionists who risked their own safety to assist the fleeing slaves. Figures such as Mary Ann Shadd, the first Black female publisher in North America, emerged from these communities, tirelessly advocating for civil rights and educating newly freed individuals. The story of the Underground Railroad is incomplete without mentioning Harriet Tubman, known as the Moses of her people. Tubman made countless dangerous trips back into the southern states, leading dozens to safety in Canada. Her courage was legendary. Her name alone was enough to inspire hope and instill fear in slaveholders. Yet the path to freedom was not just about crossing a physical border. It was about crossing the threshold from oppression into empowerment. Once in Canada, former slaves faced new challenges: discrimination, poverty, and the struggle to build new lives from scratch. But their determination to thrive in freedom laid the groundwork for generations to come. Amherstburg, a town near the Detroit River, became one of the most important entry points into Canada. Here, safe houses known as stations awaited the weary travelers. Many Underground Railroad routes converged here, guided by secret signs, songs, and coded messages. These routes required careful navigation through dense forests, across rivers, and past hostile territories. In Buxton, Ontario, a community founded by abolitionist Reverend William King, escaped slaves found farmland and education. The Buxton settlement established one of the first schools for Black children in Canada, emphasizing the power of knowledge as a tool of liberation. The narrative of Canada's role in the abolition movement challenges common misconceptions that the country was untouched by the evils of slavery or the struggles of African Americans. Instead, Canada was an active participant in a complex web of resistance and refuge, offering not only sanctuary but also shaping the identity and future of Black Canadians. This story is a testament to resilience, solidarity, and the human spirit's quest for freedom. The Underground Railroad was a shared effort transcending race, nationality, and geography. Canada's open arms and brave citizens turned the tide for thousands who otherwise faced a life of bondage or death. The journey of Harriet and countless others was marked by fear and uncertainty, but also by unyielding hope. The border between the United States and Canada was not just a line on a map, it was a threshold to a new life, a new identity, and a promise kept. The river glistened faintly under the moonlight as Harriet reached its banks. Behind her, the faint shouts of slave catchers echoed through the trees, their dogs closing in fast. Her heart pounded fiercely, but she forced herself forward, knowing that every moment was critical. A narrow boat waited silently on the Canadian side, rowed by a man known only as Station Master Thomas. He was one of many who risked arrest and violence to ferry fugitives across this treacherous boundary. As the boat sliced through the cold water, Harriet's mind raced with memories. The cruel lash of the overseer, the nights spent hiding in swamps, the hope carried on the whispers of those who had come before her. Now, with Canada just within reach, freedom no longer seemed a distant dream, but a possible reality. Canada's involvement in the abolition movement was not accidental. The British Empire had abolished slavery in its territories in 1834, setting the stage for Canada to become a haven. Unlike the United States, where slavery was entrenched in the economy and society, Canada's laws offered protection and opportunity. This attracted tens of thousands of enslaved individuals who sought to escape the brutality of their former lives. The Underground Railroad was complex and dangerous. Escapees relied on a network of abolitionists who provided food, shelter, clothing, and guidance. These conductors operated in secrecy, using coded language, lantern signals, and carefully planned routes. The risk was enormous. Capture could mean brutal punishment or death, not only for the escapees, but for those who aided them. In Canada, the arriving fugitives faced the challenge of integrating into a society that was not always welcoming. Prejudice and racial discrimination persisted, but Black Canadians persevered. They established churches, schools, and businesses, laying the foundation for vibrant communities. One remarkable story is that of John Brown, a white American abolitionist who believed deeply in armed resistance against slavery. Though his raid on Harper's Ferry in 1859 failed, it ignited passion and fear alike, accelerating the national conversation about slavery. Brown's vision found echoes in Canada, where abolitionists prepared for the possibility of war to end slavery once and for all. Black Canadians played an active role in the fight for equality beyond providing refuge. Many enlisted to fight in the American Civil War, supporting the Union cause and the abolition of slavery. Their contributions helped reshape the narrative of freedom and justice. The legacy of the Underground Railroad extends beyond its historical timeline. It represents a powerful symbol of human courage and the relentless pursuit of justice. The people who journeyed through the railroad were not passive victims, but agents of change who shaped history. Today, museums, heritage sites, and educational programs across Canada preserve this legacy. They honor the bravery of the fugitives, the commitment of abolitionists, and the transformative power of solidarity. The story of Canada's role in the abolition movement is a reminder that freedom requires sacrifice, cooperation, and hope. It challenges us to remember the past honestly and to continue striving for justice in the present. Harriet stepped onto Canadian soil as dawn broke over the horizon. The sky was painted with hues of pink and gold, a new day and a new life beginning for her. Around her, others welcomed the tired travelers with open arms, offering food, shelter, and hope. The journey to Canada was the end of one chapter and the beginning of another, a chapter of rebuilding, of reclaiming identity, and of fighting for a future where freedom was not just a dream, but a reality for all.